Will we ever get an end update? I mean, come on now. The end has essentially been the same thing since 2016. That's like almost a decade of the same purple nothingness, the same chorus fruit, and the same "congrats, you won the game, now go build a house" atmosphere. So hold on to your monitor because we're gonna tear apart everything we know, everything we don't know, and why Mojang is possibly trolling us harder than a griefer with TNT. Let's start where we are right now. The End Dimension. It's supposed to be this epic final frontier, right? You defeat the Ender Dragon, you get your little portal, and then what? You get an Elytra, some chorus fruit, some shulker shells if you're feeling spicy, and that's pretty much it. Look at what they did with the Nether update in 2020. Prior to that update, the Nether was essentially this hellish highway with some glowstone and perhaps a fortress if you were fortunate. Now, we have 4 distinct biomes, new mobs, new blocks, ancient debris, bastions, the whole 9 yards. It transformed from this one-and-done dimension into something you actually want to hang out in and explore. The End, however, still lingering in that 2016 aesthetic. I mean, I get it. The End cities are cool and everything, but once you see one, you've basically seen all of them. And don't even mention how lifeless the Outer End Islands are. It's like they spent half the budget on building it and then ran out of money. The community has been begging for an End update for years. I'm referring to massive Reddit threads, Twitter campaigns, fan concepts that quite frankly shame Mojang's current End design. There's a desire for more biomes, more structures, more reasons to stick around after slaying the dragon. So what exactly has Mojang said regarding this? Well, here's where it gets interesting. And by interesting, I mean frustrating and vague. They've stated in several interviews and developer Q&A sessions that they're aware of community interest in performing an End update. Classic corporate speak for "we hear you but we're not guaranteeing anything." Agnes Larson and other developers have stated that they'd like to do something with the End someday, but there's always been this when the time is right feeling. The point is Mojang has been listening to the community pretty well lately. We got Caves and Cliffs update because people crave for better terrain generation. We got the Wild update because people yearn for more overworld life. But the twist is, they've also said they intend to make each update complete and purposeful. They don't want to simply throw in some arbitrary stuff at the end and be done with it, which, okay, I get it. But it's been years of this "we're thinking about it" response. Now let's get into the exciting stuff, what the community believes is gonna happen. And let me tell you, Minecraft enthusiasts are pretty much conspiracy theorists when it comes to this type of thing. Theory number 1, the End update is going to be enormous, and that's why they're waiting so long. Some people think that Mojang is in the process of creating a massive overhaul that's going to completely change not just the End, but post-Dragon gameplay as a whole. New dimensions, new progression mechanics, maybe even a second Dragon battle? I've seen some incredible fan concepts. Fans are talking about End biomes, like crystal jungles, void storms, floating islands with indigenous ecosystems. Theory number 2. Technical limitations are stopping them. The End is odd from a technical perspective. It's infinite, but empty. It's got these specific generation patterns, and modifying it might shatter existing worlds or cause performance issues. Maybe they're waiting for a big engine revision or Java optimization so they can get it to work as planned. Theory number 3, and this is a cynical one. Mojang doesn't think an End update will sell a high enough number of copies or generate enough buzz. The Nether update attracted tons of old players back in and added new ones. Caves and Cliffs was a huge technical achievement, but the End? It's mostly for old hands who've already bought the game. Personally, I think this is a combination of all three. They want to do it right, there are probably technical hurdles, and they're trying to figure out how to make it appealing to both new and veteran players. Alright, let's get into the fun speculation. What could an End update actually include? Biomes. This is a big one. The End is this enormous dimension with basically one biome. Black void with islands. What if we had different End biomes? Maybe a crystal one with a new ore, a corrupted one where reality begins to shatter, floating gardens with unique flora, or even ones with altered gravity. New mobs are a guarantee. The End has the Ender Dragon, Enderman, and Shulkers, and wait, no, that's it. We need more variety, maybe End-specific variations of overworld mobs or brand new mobs that fit the overworld aesthetic. I see something akin to void rays, which fly through the air, or crystal constructs which guard ancient ruins. Structures are a tremendous potential. End cities are cool, but they are sort of the same. How about special End temples with unique loot? Ancient observatories with new enchantments, and maybe even artifacts from the End civilization that built the strongholds in the first place. The End is this eerie alien place, and all we have is wings and chorus fruit, and then just a bunch of overworld items. Give us specific End building materials, new tools, maybe even tech that works in a different manner than Redstone, maybe even new Redstone circuitry. Blocks that manipulate gravity, for example, or tools that allow you to teleport. The problem is, how would it go? Nowadays, you slay the dragon and that's it. An End update would need to have some reasons for players to stick around and see what they could do. Maybe there's a post-dragon era, or multiple dragons scattered across the world, or some kind of End-only progression system that covers new worlds and abilities. Okay, now let's bring this back to reality for a second. As much as we love an End update, we have to to be realistic regarding what we could actually get. Looking at recent changes, Mojang has been emphasizing smaller, dedicated changes instead of grand overhauls. The Wild update brought in a few new biomes and mobs, but it wasn't a total overhaul of any dimension. The Caves and Cliffs update was monumental, but that was largely about terrain generation and technical enhancements. An End update would need to be careful not to destroy long-established builds, farms, or gameplay exploits that players have spent years developing. The End holds some of the most complex technical builds in the game: Ender Pearl farms, Ender Dragon farms, etc. Any changes need to be backwards compatible. And then there's a question of what the End update is even trying to fix. The Nether update addressed an incomplete and underdeveloped dimension. Caves and Cliffs addressed stale, boring terrain. But the End, it serves its purpose as the last boss fight arena and endgame content. It might not need a big overhaul. All that notwithstanding, retention and engagement of players are legitimate concerns. Minecraft's biggest challenges is getting veteran players interested once they've won the game. An End update could correct that by giving players new challenges and new things to discover after killing the dragon. So when exactly are we going to finally receive this mythical End update? Let me put on my prophecy chapeau, which has a pretty bad track record, but here it goes anyway. Given Mojang's update rhythm recently and their tendency for small, more frequent updates, I don't believe we're receiving some giant update this year. They've got the Copper update coming along with whatever else they have up their sleeve as smaller features. I guess if we're getting an End update, it'll be December 2025 at the absolute earliest, but it's more likely to come in 2026. That gives them time to set it up properly, iron out the bugs, and build anticipation through the community testing and response. But what if it isn't what they're going to do at all? What if instead of doing one giant End update, they just space out End improvements across multiple smaller updates? Maybe new biomes in the End in one update, new mobs in another, and new structures in a third. That would much better match their current approach and keep the risk of breaking things lower. There is also the possibility that they're waiting to push the End content until they can gauge the public's reaction to other updates. If the Copper update goes well and people continue to be hungry for End content, which they will, it could get moved up the priority list. So what can we do to make the End update more likely? Well, we could keep yelling at it, but more constructively. The Minecraft team does listen to community feedback, but they respond better to thoughtful suggestions than just End update when spam. Create concept art, write detailed proposals, build examples in creative mode. Just show them what you want to see, not just that you want to see something. Support content creators making End-themed content. Make awesome stuff in the End realm. The more you all show that you're actually engaging with End content, the more Mojang is going to want to make it better. And seriously, don't hold your breath. An End update might be far from the grand dimension overhaul we're all dreaming for. It might be a collection of small, targeted changes that improve the experience without completely redoing it. So, will we ever get an End update? My brutally honest opinion, eventually, maybe, possibly, provided Mojang is not perpetually sidetracked by the dire need to include additional varieties of wood. See, the fans want it seriously. We've clarified that to the point of absurdity. And Mojang has to show they'll go back and revisit some old stuff when they feel like it. It's not a question of if anymore. It's a matter of, will it actually be awesome, or will we have 3 blocks of purple and a press release? Until that glorious day that this actually comes to pass, we'll just have to keep building our sad little End bases, farming our chorus fruit, and pretending like fighting the dragon for the 47th time is still a blast. Living the dream, everyone. What do you think? Are you still clinging to hope, or do you finally know that we're stuck in the same Black Void Simulator 2016 forever? Let me know in the comments, and goodness gracious, please let me know I'm not the only one gradually losing it over this. Give that like button a click, and if you enjoy watching me lose my mind, subscribe for more absolutely crazy rants about block game politics, and I'll see you in the next episode of Things That Should Exist But Don't. This has been a 3D Circuit video. Never forget that hope is the first step on the path to disappointment. Peace out.